If I was to ask most of you which anime did a great job of giving an insightful experience on what it might be like working in an animation studio, particularly in Japan, most would say that that's easy. Otaku no Video. Not only is it a story based on the forming of an animation studio, it's the forming of our beloved legacy studio, Gainax. However, there's another OVA which I'm not sure I could say I seen barely 48 hours prior to this recording, but it was one I've been sitting on for years. But when a regular subscriber of mine, shout out to Cobi, asked me to do a video on it, I said I think it's time to check it out. So what's the quickest way to break this synopsis up? This is Kuromi, and in under 3 minutes, she manages to go from commuting to her new job as an animator for a studio to becoming the productions manager of the studio, named Studio Petit.
I don't know if I'll make it in time to air. The storyboard's finished and we're into animation, but none of it's done yet. It's not good at all.
Help me.
Good luck, Kuromi! Good luck!
Wait a second! Mr. Apollo!
This shouldn't be too bad, right? You know, a few months of training and all of that. She should be ready to go. Except there's one problem. They're in the middle of production on a show and it's only on episode 2. So what ends up happening is a fun little OVA adventure of Kuromi being overbearing on her employees to get them to produce by the air date. That was the first episode, while the second one kicks it up a notch when the studio takes on 3 TV series simultaneously. What I appreciated about watching this is the subtle ways that the lifestyle of an animator or director is cohesive with the stories we hear of animators in real life Japan. One of the characters mentions writing 250 pages in her first month for only $400 and wanting to quit. And the first thing that came to my mind was, hey, I've heard this story one too many times about people who work and have worked for animation studios over the years, especially over there in Asia. In terms of the art and animation, it's the early 2000s, so you know what I'm going to say in that regard in terms of it crossing over into the digital revolution. What I will address on that note, being an early 2000s and not a mid-2000s production causes there to be a slight lacking in its color definition, and it could seem a little less saturated in certain scenes. And what I mean by a difference in time periods, they hadn't really perfected the hues and colors in anime till around 2006 or so. A good example or comparison would be Fooly Cooly and Gurren Lagann, both produced by Gainax, and you can see a pretty congruent delivery in the art style and even animation technique. But the coloring totally ascends during the 7 years that passed between both shows. Anyway, overall, I think most people would be satisfied aesthetically with Kuromi. Now, is this anime groundbreaking in any sense of the word? Nah, but I really appreciate it as an alternative to what most of us watch, which is typically something with more action, more drama, or just generally more serious. On the note of the tone, it was the second episode that incorporated more of a dramatic element to the anime where characters start soul searching and doing a bit of introspection. When those moments do happen, it doesn't last forever, but considering how much goofiness and comedy set the standard for the anime, it's worth mentioning. If anything does stop someone from enjoying this, it's gonna be the non-stop playfulness. It could be pretty loud and pretty silly pretty often. And that may be traced back to his director, who, let's talk about that for a second. This is Akitaru Daichi, who has directed a lot of anime, particularly in the slice of life realm, like Kodacha and Fruits Basket. As soon as I went through his catalog, it made perfect sense. I mean, Jubei-chan and Ninja Girl, I totally understand it and I totally see the alignment. Side note, he's pretty versatile because he's the one that gave us Now and Then, Here and There, and a new Detective Conan movie that's coming in October. Fans of anime like Genshiken or Slice of Life as a whole will appreciate animation runner Kuromi. Nothing too deep here, but I did enjoy this for what it is, and it's certainly another one of these anime that can help take your mind off the stresses of the world. Bro, relax for a couple of hours. Yuma the company produced this and they've done absolutely nothing that I've ever seen or in most cases heard of, and they put the 2 episodes out 3 years apart, starting in 01, ending in 04. Yeah, that's pretty much it.